Hello Virgo, Virgo Rising and Virgo Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting December 26th, 2016. And a quick reminder for you guys, your January 2017 horoscopes are up, the astrology for the whole month. It's on their own special playlist on the main channel page, and I've also just recently had a live broadcast doing an hour and 45-minute lecture on the astrology of 2017. If you'd like to check that out as well, that is already up and it's recorded, everyone can see it now. And don't forget, classes are happening in January, online classes, online tarot classes, online astrology webinar classes. First tarot class starts on the 8th, and the astrology webinar classes start mid-month. If you'd like to sign up for any of those, you do need to reserve your spot. You can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com to do so. So, what is going on with the astrology this week for the Virgo people? We got you getting put on the spot this week, but not necessarily in the worst way. You know, we've got Jupiter opposite Uranus, from your second house of earned income to your 8th house of shared resources and passive income. And we have a really nice opportunity for a lot of Virgos to score in a big way. But the thing about being put on the spot is, when it comes to work, life at the office, or again handling financial deals, people are willing to listen to you. Okay? And you are being put on the spot to delegate them, even if you're not in a position of authority. And sometimes when we get put on the spot, we're not ready to be put on the spot. We didn't think it was going to happen. You know, we may have been issuing some critiques, issuing some requests, you know, friendly ones here and there, but we have you being put on the spot. And this Jupiter is really kind of saying, how do we conquer some kind of major debt? You know, this could be a great opportunity to negotiate something away, you know, to make some kind of compromise. Some of you may be actually getting money back that is owed to you, and you are trying to dictate the terms of how that happens. We may be changing the way we are paid out at work, whether it's our payout schedule or how much. But you are being put on the spot. Somebody is asking. So it's important to honestly own the opportunity that you have to make this negotiation. Don't be greedy, don't get power hungry, but also at the same time, don't shrink away from it either. You are being put on the spot, and you are going to be expected to dictate your feelings well. Later on in the week, we do have Saturn, the planet of restrictions and boundaries, in your 4th house of home and family, forming a tense square to Chiron in your 7th house of partnerships. And Chiron is the celestial body that governs our issues in a lot of ways. I like to call it our baggage. Some people call it the wounded healer, you know, leftover unhealed wounds and things like that. But it's baggage nonetheless. And when we have Saturn and Chiron going into a square, you've got to pay attention to what could be happening as a decision that you make regarding a partner that may not necessarily please a family member, or vice versa. Or a decision regarding a family issue that displeases a partner. And there's a conflict of interest going on here. But at the same time, somebody is out of line. Somebody is definitely way out of line in this situation. And you've got to pay attention to where you can make the point that it's none of so-and-so's business. You know, if a family member is trying to, you know, insinuate themselves into your relationship, you will have to draw the line. If a partner is trying to maybe cause too many rifts in the family just by either being themselves or being a bit obstinate, again, you're going to have to draw that line. You can't be friends with everybody this week. Luckily, this isn't a finality kind of angle. A square is not something that is a make or break life or death. But what it does end up doing, again, is it does change the way we interact with the people involved. And maybe it's up to us, Virgo, to make that point. Who is overstepping their bounds and out of line? So what is going on with your cards this week, we may ask? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Weaver. Okay, so we are talking about some divine interventions going on this week. And you'll want to pay close attention to what is coming about. A lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts that have been circulating, recurring conversations are going to come to pass, it seems, when it comes to maybe your relationships, maybe your own personal aspiration, your creative goals, your spiritual path. And with the Weaver, when we're talking about fate, we are talking about somebody perhaps, you know, up there or over there, you know, deciding that it's time to finally grant this. Okay, whatever it is. And it could be good, it could be challenging. But the thing is that something is coming to pass. The nice thing about this card is that everyone is usually in agreement, like this is not like a big surprise, but somebody may be going through with something, or you may be finally going through with something that other people didn't expect you to commit to this week, or you didn't expect somebody else to commit to this week. But I don't want you to get in the way. The reason it's been brought up as much as it has is because it's been meant to happen. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Queen of Swords inverted, which is an interesting card to get here because financially this can be very, very good. And very, very good, actually. Even though it's a reversed Queen, and the Queen of Swords reversed is not necessarily the easiest card to talk to. I like this card for money because it can talk about success coming your way. However, the price is somebody's jealousy or somebody's resentment. Okay? Most likely an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, or somebody with those qualities. She could just as easily be, you know, male, but I am looking at a Queen, so we'll just kind of stay there with that. And with the Queen of Swords inverted, we have somebody who is trying to dictate what you do with your work or what you do with your money to such a nauseating degree, you know, that it's important to, again, let people know when they've crossed a line. Alright? And that's a huge thing about this week, you know, it's like when people are out of line and they just kind of go, you know, it's okay to give them, you know, a concerned slap in the face to snap them out of it. And I feel like this could be a coworker. This could even just be like a really pushy customer or client. You know, we've all had those situations where somebody, you know, thinks that, you know, our work is their business, or, you know, their advice, their criticism is, you know, is the word of God. And I think that this week we may have to deal with that, but it is coming from her resentment for something good that's going to be happening to you. For your communications with air when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we do have the Seven of Wands upright. Somebody's going to be sticking up for you. Somebody's going to be sticking up for you big time, because the Seven of Wands is saying that if you felt like you needed some backup when it comes to dealing with other friends or other relatives or, you know, whoever Miss Thang is here, the Seven of Wands is saying you've got the popular vote in a lot of ways. You know, people are going to be sticking up for you, and the Seven of Wands does show up where, you know, you have to accept people's protection. You know, it's a gift. It really is, okay, Virgo, because sometimes turning down a gift is a sign of not being grateful, or it's just, you know, it's just plain insensitive. And with the Seven of Wands, you may actually find out that somebody's also sticking up for you behind your back and pulling something off that you are going to be able to cash in on very soon. So it's a very interesting sort of twist. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Page of Pentacles inverted. Some unexpected expenses may come up this week, but, you know, that's a lot also to do with Jupiter opposite Uranus. You know, you might want to tighten your belt this week, because while we do have money coming, we do have success coming, you know, we may end up funneling that money towards a bill or some kind of expense, and we'll end up breaking even, so we don't want to spend all of this good fortune right away. But the Page of Pentacles inverted can also talk about a need for you, Virgo, to know when to not put money down. Okay, when to not put an investment down this week. Somebody may be asking you to, you know, to borrow money, or if you're truly committed, blah, 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 you will put this down on that, and, you know, and do not do that. You know, don't spend money on your work this week, is what this card is saying. I mean, obviously office supplies and things like that, I'm probably going to buy a new tarot deck, yeah, that's okay. But if somebody's asking for you to forward money into, you know, say an investment that's supposed to pay off big, be careful with that. Again, Uranus in the 8th house can make some instability there. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Four of Pentacles upright. This is a very strange card to get, because when we get the Four of Pentacles, we usually see somebody closing themselves off and hiding out. But I'm actually feeling like this is different for you. I'm getting a feeling of somebody kind of bringing you behind closed doors. And this could be a crush, this could be a partner, this could be somebody who likes you, who wants to tell you that. You know, I'm getting kind of a strange, you know, 7 minutes in heaven kind of vibe from this Four of Pentacles, and this could actually be quite romantic. I will say that with the Four of Pentacles, we may also need to keep an eye on our partner spending, or how much our partner is spending on us, because we don't want that to get out of hand as well. And somebody may be trying really hard to impress you with what they have instead of who they are. What I like about the Four of Pentacles, though, is that your partner will be in agreement when it comes to curbing our spending. If you and your partner have been kind of feeling like we are almost, in a place where we're forced to spend money, your partner's going to find a way to stop that. Because with the Page of Pentacles inverted, we also want to make sure that we're not putting money down on things that we can wait for, such as a down payment and whatnot. But I like the Four of Pentacles here because your partner is going to be sort of cloistering you all to themselves, not in a possessive, creepy way, but ultimately in a let's actually get some dang privacy. And some of you, Virgos who are single out there, may have somebody do the, can I talk to you for a minute out on the porch kind of thing. Can I talk to you in private? Or, I got something I want to say to you. Very interesting revealing going on. Happy New Year! So that is your forecast of Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.